Greetings again. Welcome back to My Quest to Teach. And as you can tell, my focus is on STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, which is a very important component to preparing children for careers in the future. I would like to emphasize that parents, along with their children, continuously, if you have not started to watch the news, to watch the media, to look at social media and examine the careers that are opening up in the areas of STEAM. One of the major areas, and I like to reference the entertainment industry, there are many movies out now that incorporate the ideologies or the concepts of technology. For example, when you're looking at the movie Iron Man, for instance, Iron Man initially started as a comic book, and during the early 70s, 80s, and 90s, that comic book expanded on Tony Stark, who was an inventor, a designer, an innovator, an engineer, and the developmental aspects of the changes of his Iron Man suit. So now we have where the technology and special effects using a green screen or blue screen has actually caught up to where it can be manipulated and used to have a dynamic movie such as Iron Man. I believe there is the Iron Man 2, no, excuse me, Iron Man 3 that is coming out that incorporates different design elements in using special effects, in using video, in using sound, and even using and integrating music into the development of that movie. There's another movie that's out now called Pacific Rim about robots that are manned fighting monsters from underneath the Pacific Ocean. So when you look at the technology that's being integrated into movies, these concepts are not new. These concepts are not far off to actually being real. There are thousands of robots in the world now that do different types of jobs. And careers in STEAM focus on the development, the concepts, the modeling, the building, the modification of robots globally. They're doing more and more jobs, not just military jobs, but civilian jobs. The United States and Japan lead the world right now in designing and using robots for multiple jobs, to protect people, to aid people, to help people, so that people are not in the dangerous situations that exist with experimenting and science and space exploration or exploration of inner space, which is the ocean. So robots are actually doing those. Different movies that are out now or that are also coming, like Star Trek, focusing on space travel as well. So there are a lot of elements that are out there that incorporate different types of technologies, and it's important that our children understand that even those technologies are in movies, many of the concepts and designs are actually being used today in real life. NASA several months ago announced its new astronauts to the world, and these astronauts are going to be tasked with potentially traveling to Mars, and not only traveling to Mars, but investigating asteroids that come close to the Earth. So here we have the sciences, the technologies with the integration, the engineering aspects of building robots, or building an Iron Man suit, or building a robot similar in Pacific Rim, or building spaceships like the Enterprise, or some concepts of it to actually travel through space at the speed of light or faster at warp speed. So children see what is being brought to the table in the entertainment industry, but in real life, robots are being integrated throughout our lives. And these are careers for our children to seek in the future and to want to be a part of. One of the other types of technologies are the drones, implementing drones not just for military aspects, but in civilian life as well. Here in Jacksonville, our news media has shown that drones in the future will be patrolling the skies over Duval County or Jacksonville, Florida. And there are many applications for those drones, but the technology that goes into them, the modifications that go into them, the building and repairing of the drones, those are careers that young people need to think about when it comes to careers of the future and come to careers now. So when you have the STEAM element in our public schools, it's showing young people that there is a need, a serious need for them to understand what science is and how to implement it and how it affects their lives. The changes of technology, the use of engineering skills, how important the arts still are in the design of many of the components that we're using today. And also, all of those elements use math in some capacity. So parents, it is very important that you sit down and talk to your children and ask them leading questions. So if you're watching a movie like Iron Man, you ask them about what they think about the technology. If you watch the movie Star Trek with your children, ask them if they have ever had thoughts of traveling in space or being a captain of a spaceship or being an astronaut or being an engineer or actually going into research and development. There are so many opportunities for young people to be involved in the sciences and the technology that it just branches off to careers that haven't even been created or designed yet. So my blog is called STEAM Presentation with Trio of University of South Florida. And the emphasis on this blog is I had a great opportunity to talk to students from a TRIO program, T-R-I-O, from Upward Bound, students that were in the program with the University of South Florida. And it was over 100 students, 100 young people from high school, from 10th grade to 12th grade, and we had an opportunity to talk about STEAM careers, what the elements of STEAM meant to them, and how important with the changes of technology, with the changes of engineering, and the integration of the arts, and how important the arts are, and that math is important, and that they shouldn't look at it as hard. They should look at it potentially as a challenge to be overcome to help them move further in their careers, and that all of the elements, or most of the elements, are going to have some form of some type of science involved in it. So here we had a discussion about careers, robotics, space travel, as I mentioned before, inner space with the exploration of the seas, the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, those areas that are still unexplored. So as we talked about the careers of STEAM, watching videos and sharing experiences and talking about jobs, we related it to the economic empowerment. If you're involved in a STEAM career, there's the great potential to have a career that starts you off at $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year, depending on what area of STEAM and your level of education. The importance of completing high school and earning your high school diploma, moving on to higher education in college and university, and seriously looking at major areas of study that help you achieve financial and economic goals. And looking at the sciences and the mathematics, not as hard, but as challenges to be overcome to move you into different areas and different levels where you can achieve economic prosperity or financial stability. Removing the concept or the idea that it is too hard, because there are many young people through the use of just basically studying harder, using the time wisely to study, to read, if the opportunity needs or the opportunity presents itself, to get a tutor in the sciences and particularly in the mathematics, because the successes in STEAM areas can be seen in the monetary and career values that are in areas of STEAM. When we're talking about the sciences and technology and the engineering and the arts and mathematics, young people in this generation may change jobs 3 or 4 times during their careers, or they may have 2 or 3 careers because of the use of technology and the ability to use different skills in those areas of sciences or to use different skills in the areas of engineering. So young people now have the opportunity to have multiple careers or have 2 or 3 careers at one time. So my blog focuses on the engagement myself with the TRIO students had during our time that we spoke together. We spent about 2.5 hours talking about the areas of STEAM, and it was so engaging and so much fun that the time just seemed to fly by. We met in Melbourne, Florida, where we had the opportunity to stay overnight in Melbourne, Florida, and just share. The young people shared their expectations and their dreams and their desires with me, and I spoke to them about different careers, not just in education, but careers that they had opportunities to participate in. So the blog starts off, STEAM course, Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, Mathematics, is changing the way teachers teach and students learn. STEAM has become the word of educational paradigm shifts. The use of hands-on learning, integration of critical thinking and higher order thinking skills is being integrated into elementary school curriculum. Students are learning not what to think, but how to adapt their thinking to solve problems, to be innovative and work collaboratively. And here is a quote from Abigail Adams. And interestingly, this quote, Miss Abigail Adams lived from 1744 to 1818, and she was an educator. And her quote is, "Learning is not attained by chance. It must be sought for with ardor and attended to with diligence." This is an age of scientific discovery, as I continue. Technological growth, engineering evolution, integration of arts and mathematical equations. Just look at the recent movies of Pacific Rim, Iron Man, Star Trek, Fast and Furious, and the list grows. These entertainment events are ingrained with STEAM elements that show careers in STEAM are growing and evolving or changing, even in the entertainment and gaming industry. Another quote, "The STEM workforce is exploding and is expected to continue to grow well into the future." This was by Representative Bouchon, a Republican from Indiana, that recognized the potential, the great potential of the growth in careers in STEAM and STEM for the future of American children. In order for children to be competitive and capable, they must be exposed to the elements of STEAM in elementary schools. Continue the transition in middle and high schools, and even in higher and vocational education. Becoming active in the elements of STEM and STEAM. Minority and black youth, both male and females, need to understand that a world that embraces technology is where the careers are, where the money is. My recent presentation to students of the TRIO program of the University of South Florida showed the importance of academic excellence, but to choose wisely their career choices. TRIO is an educational opportunity outreach program designed to motivate and support students from disadvantaged backgrounds. The students shared with me their vision for the future and what they want to accomplish. I shared with these highly intelligent and highly motivated high school students from grades 10 to 12 that science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics are the keys to being of value and being valuable to society. Using terms that I shared with them of Blerds, which are black nerds, bleaks, which are black geeks, even black intellectuals, there should be a priority for these students to learn as much as possible about the potential expanse and engagement of technology and how mathematics and science are important. The diversity of careers and in meeting and working with people of color and ethnicity. Being honest in our discussion white and Asian students talked about adapting to a multiracial working environment that encourages diversification for its ability to bring the best people together in multiple fields for the betterment of the world, not just one nation or one people. Just as if I was talking to my son or daughter, I shared that those students in the TRIO program, should not look at math and science as hard, but as a challenge to be overcome, to be mastered and even welcomed for the opportunity to be exposed to worlds beyond imagination and a unique engagement of learning that is not local but global. And it is important for young people to realize that our world has a global connectivity by the use of technology, and that global business opportunities and global entrepreneurial opportunities are available now, not just local. During the course of their educational careers, from elementary to high school, it will prepare them for higher education. And when they gain interest in the higher education, they will increase their competitiveness or opportunity to compete competitively against students from around the world. So we have global economies, we have global competitiveness in technology, and students now must understand that. The discussion included the importance of critical and higher order thinking skills, and because of my high expectations for their success, none of the over 100 students should be failing, that all should be honor students. Science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics are vital for their employment, advancing in careers and higher education opportunities. Each opportunity in learning should be taken. That means even in high school, students should be attending conferences, workshops, seminars, and summits, using those opportunities to network and learn. High school students need to know that even President Obama sees the importance of STEAM, making statements such as, "One of the things I've been focused on as president is how we can create an all-hands-on-deck approach to science, technology, engineering, and math." President Obama made this statement during the 3rd annual White House Science Fair in April of 2013. So he recognizes the importance and the diversity of STEM careers. Sharing YouTube videos, which I've used during my class instruction. I love sharing YouTube videos because it creates a different dynamic for learning. So it's not just myself or the teacher standing in front of the class and lecturing, but it breaks the traditional lecturing type of instruction to where it's student-centered because the students take in the information and it gives us an opportunity to talk about the information that they learn. Even though you take a class of 15 to 20 students, they're all watching the same YouTube video. Let's say we're focusing on robotics. Everyone's going to interpret or comprehend that information differently. So it's important that teachers have a dialogue and have a discussion on what the students learn so that they're sharing information and learning from each other as well. Sharing YouTube videos, we took our discussion to a new level where the students watch videos of robotic technology and how it affects medical research, the attachment of bionic limbs to the human body, the use of robots to aid in manual labor, and how humans will never be the same because of the R&D, or research and development, into overcoming the limits of the human body and mind. I was proud to see how the students responded. We're engaged in the discussion and inspired to continue to learn when they return to their respective schools. And that opportunity that we had in that short time, a lot of information was shared, and it's my hope that the students were inspired and that they were encouraged to continue on with their education past high school and into higher education and on vocational education. And even if some of them choose to go into the military, we discussed that even in the military, you're constantly going to school, you're constantly learning. So you are a lifelong learner. in the areas of STEAM, because the world is changing and the STEAM elements are integrated in our lives and in our society, that now when you graduate from high school, it is expected that students go on to higher education or go on to vocational education. So in some cases, a bachelor's degree is not the final degree for young people depending on their career choice. A master's degree is not the final degree. Even in the cases of a student going on to get their EDD, which is a doctorate, or their PhD, which is a doctorate as well, incorporating a lot of research, students are still expected to continue to learn. And not just learn, it's important that students understand that they can contribute to the learning environment as well. Their ideas and ideologies and their research that they're conducting and the things that they're learning are valuable to be shared. So hopefully, again, you gain some valuable information, that you share the information with your children, and that they learn how important STEAM is. Thank you very much.